A New York grand jury voted to indict former President Donald Trump in connection with a hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. Now, Trump is the first former U.S. president to be charged with a crime. And of course, he has denied any wrongdoing. Now, the story is still developing. That means things will constantly change. Sources say that Donald Trump was surprised by yesterday's indictment.
There's no way he could be surprised by the indictment. He's the one who told us that he was getting arrested 2 weeks ago. That is true.
Right. I think he's surprised that he was expecting it to be, obviously last week. And like we heard in the clip, they thought that the jury would be out. And surprise, they were not out. They were in, and they were processing that paperwork. So Michael Cohen, the one-time attorney of former President Donald Trump and key witness in the Manhattan District Attorney's case, said on Thursday that he believes Trump is petrified over his indictment.
I wonder what all of this means, for the country, in the future of the country. Would this prove nobody is above the law? Does this prove that this country really has checks and balances, or they just have checks and balances for people that they don't like and don't want to run for president?
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about that. Until everyone's held accountable like black folks, just to be honest with you, I don't think this is going to prove that now all of a sudden, America has it together as far as the criminal justice system is concerned. But I do think that they are showing clearly that nobody's above the law in respect to, former President Donald Trump.
I was going to say, they told all police officers in New York City, if you're off today or whatever it may be, to come into work today in uniform. So they're expecting some melee today, and they're requesting that all police officers come to work today.
Well, he's not even turning himself in until next week, right, Ted?
That's correct. The indictment remains under seal. So we still, just for clarity, we still do not know, what that indictment looks like. And yes, he is expected to turn himself in early next week. But again, that could change, just like we saw, the story changing over the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what those indictments are. We'll be able to kind of, look and see what the actual charge is and how he turns himself in. I was just so kind of tickled by Michael Cohen, because he was saying, I don't take any pride in this, and, I don't like to see this, and that's cap to me. Michael Cohen, knock it off. He literally went on a tour to make sure that Donald Trump was indicted for this, and he made a good point, Charlamagne. He said that if he could go to jail, be charged and go to jail, then so should Donald Trump. And he also made an interesting point when he said that you don't get mob bosses for murder, you get them for tax evasion. So it's those smaller cases that they push in order to get get somebody charged. And I still think Georgia's going to come through with something as well. I'm not sure about the federal charge, but I do think that Georgia will eventually indict him as well.
The Georgia charge should be a federal charge. I don't know why the feds haven't investigated that one and picked it up yet. And I guess for me, I will feel like it's really real and nobody is above the law when the feds actually press charges. When Merrick Garland and them, actually press charges.
Well, I think we got to make sure that we look at when somebody's charged and then actually convicted, and then what kind of time would they get. To me, that is the ultimate test to see who is really above the law and who's not. So an indictment is totally different than actually going through with the process. And we even see that even on the police brutality side, Charlamagne, where they can get arrested and get charged and get off or get a slap on the wrist. So as this continues to develop, we'll be right here covering on the Breakfast Club.
Because we still have to remember, innocent until proven guilty.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Well, for black folks, it's guilty until proven innocent, but whatever.
Hey, for black folks, it's guilty until proven innocent, and even if you prove your innocence, you still guilty.
You still guilty.
In the court of public opinion.